Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So yes, we did lose this support area, and obviously losing these wick lows and this level, we saw an acceleration to the downside. So yeah, we are currently having a bit of a respite from the downside, hitting about 18, well, pretty much 18,500. Obviously targets of 17,500 and 16,500 below us. Things not looking ideal though here. Obviously we could get a rally up towards the underside of the old support and new resistance to get rejected, and then ultimately if we come back down lower, take out this low, then yeah, 17,500 will be on the card. So yeah, pretty much what happened was we were getting dragged down by stock market, but what we do need to go and have a look at is this over here. This is an absolutely kind of disgusting move. This is not ideal. This is the Japanese yen. Well, this is actually Japanese yen against the pound. So obviously this going up is the Japanese yen weakening against the pound. And I think the biggest implication of this, what is looking like a pretty uncontrolled sell-off in the Japanese yen, is that at some point there may be obviously you can't technically call it a black swan, because if you can predict it, it's not a black swan by definition, but we could see the Japanese, whichever one it is, the central bank or Ministry of Finance or which one it is, decide which one ever is in control of the bond buying, may have to give in on basically the level they're pegging their 10-year at, on the basis that the currency is just getting devalued too quickly. So this is sort of a battle here between propping up the bond market or propping up the currency market. And obviously inflation is a problem, so if your currency is massively weakening, then that just exacerbates inflation. So yeah, I mean, this is a big red warning sign, and this is obviously a reason why markets are struggling at the moment. Obviously we had those PPI numbers that weren't very good yesterday as well, that market sold off on. So but yeah, lots of warning signs all over, lots of crash indicators all over the place. This market is looking particularly disgusting. It's looking particularly bad. 10-year basically moving towards these ridiculous highs we had before, looking like we're putting a top and we're breaking down, but that literally was a swing failure, and then it's been nothing. Obviously this head and shoulders break below was a swing failure, and then literally it's been nothing but a constant squeeze to the upside since in the yields. Obviously a sell-off in the actual bond price. Dollar index as well, the dollar wrecking ball. Basically the world needs to get off this, get away from this. It's causing all sorts of problems. Yeah, so what else can I say? If this keeps, I mean, it's like the America is basically having a currency war with the rest of the world. It's literally damaging and destroying everything and everyone everywhere. This is why it's called the dollar wrecking ball. So yeah, this needs to stop, but is it going to stop? Who knows? Pretty disgusting. We just need to basically abandon the dollar somehow and have an alternative currency system, because clearly this one is not working. You can't have a world reserve currency if no one basically has any dollars to actually trade with, which is why this dollar value is going up, because people are having to sell everything and buy dollars because they need dollars for global trade. And that is clearly then obviously damaging the whole system. Yeah, stock markets, basically here's the S&P rallying back into this level here. If we break above, then yeah, maybe we got a chance of testing into this support and break into this resistance now and breaking back above, but obviously not looking ideal here at the moment. Like I said, there's a lot of red flags around. There's a lot of reasons to be fearful at the moment, to say the least. Oil looking like it wants to try and break down through this important level, tested it, bounced off it, but I mean, it's not the greatest looking chart. Obviously there were lots of dollar bulls up there, oil bulls out there, just because of the just the inflation, the supply side of it. But at the end of the day, if they're gonna force the world into a severe global recession, stroke depression in certain countries, which is what this dollar is doing, then oil prices ain't going up in that environment. They're probably going to go down to like the lower end of this support, around the $60. So that is basically what is potentially going on there. Ethereum USD obviously struggling the same as Bitcoin, smashed straight back through this support like it wasn't there. Bitcoin dominance having a little bit of a bounce off the back of that move. It did hit a very important level of support, so yeah, not surprising to see it bounce there. And the Ethereum Satoshi pairing actually just back testing into this recent high level here and the top of these wicks. So if it does basically move back above here, then that is potentially quite bullish if it back tests it as support, and then obviously can grind its way back on up until the upside based on the merger obviously narrative. But like I said, again, I'll just repeat it again, we're rearranging in fiat value in dollar terms, which obviously dollar is what everyone needs at the moment. It's rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. I mean, yes, Ethereum might be doing better relative to Bitcoin, but everything is basically getting hammered against those elusive dollars that the world's in desperate need of, that America just wants to make more and more expensive by aggressively increasing their rates. Yes, let's look at Stochastics here. Let's look at Stochastics. How are they looking? 4 hour pointing down, but getting pretty low there. 12 hour turning back down. Daily, even from this low level, turning back down. Bi-daily all the way down there still. So we were looking at these medium time frames to bottom out and then ultimately give us a decent rally. However, it was a case of where price action will be at that point, and obviously, is it going to be 18.5? Is it going to be 17.5? Or is it going to be 16.5? Or even potentially lower? But I don't suspect it will be lower. 3-day obviously waiting to turn around from the low level. 5-day and weekly not looking ideal. Bi-weekly lower. I mean, it's not looking ideal until we put in a bottom, hold that, and then start to turn back up, and then we can turn some of these around from quite low levels, and we can get a decent rally. But like I said, it's just a case of we are due a decent rally at some point, but it's a case of where does that rally come from? Like I said, does it come from, have we put the low in? Is it 17.5? Is it 16.5? Is it even lower? Is it even lower? So yeah, not ideal market conditions at the moment at all. Something got to be done about this. All markets are going to crash. I mean, it's all just a scam, isn't it? This whole system is a scam. They get a few people, a few wealthy people rich, and then literally then everybody then has to suffer to then rein in the inflation that basically they cause. So there we go. So yeah, that is it. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.